of buying a ticket on a plane, hopping on a plane
All the way
across
over
the
there.
Atlantic, all the way over there, just to sit down at a cafe or a patisserie somewhere, this is your chance to experience that true Parisian delicacy. And 47600 is your item number. And here's the deal. If you're saying, wait, there's a little tiny one over there, and wait, there's a great big one over here, we're offering you 3 different sizes today. If you want to go for the minis, and I'll show them to you over here, it's 36. So there's no buy more, save more on this one. You get 36. You want 36 minis, which are great for appetizers or portion control, it's $39. If you want to go for the regular size, the original size, that's $49. If you want to go for the large size, that would be $59. But what's even better is that you get to do 2 easy payments if you want to and lock whichever assortment you want on auto delivery every 60 days for 1 full year. So let's chat about how different these are, Chef Tony, than what I can get at a bakery, let alone a food store here.
Well, first of all, you can't beat that they're made in France. These are literally made in France. They take fresh pastry and fresh butter. They fold it 64 times. They immediately freeze it. This is how it's going to come to your home. I want you to see this. So they come frozen, whether you order the mini, the classic, or the large. You take them out of the freezer, put them on parchment paper, pop them in the oven. 28 minutes at 350 degrees, and the only secret is don't open the oven. In that cooking time, leave the door closed, go get your coffee, your tea, get ready for work, or if you're having company over, decorate the table. And then here's the cool part. These are literally authentic gourmet. If you've been to Paris and been to a patisserie, you probably have tasted this, because they supply a lot of the restaurants and hotels all over France. But I want you to see as I pull this, look at the amount of flakes and all of that beautiful dough.
That's the bounce that I talk about. That's in the middle, because you don't want it to be too dry. You want it to be flaky and just a hint crisp on the outside.
That's exactly right.
But you want the inside to be doughy and soft and delicious. So that bounce and that pull is really, really important.
We show that too, even on the mini.
Even
no matter
on the
what size you buy,
I
just
love
want
the
to show
minis.
this. Look at that. And the minis is so cool for appetizers with the holidays coming on. Now, you said something in your other cell, so I'm going to actually grant your wish.
Go for it. Oh, my goodness. That's the cookies and cream.
We're going to take a little bit of the cookies and cream. We'll put that right on our mini croissant. Now, what's going to happen, you're going to get that beautiful flavor from the cookies and cream, but then you're also going to get the pastry and the flavor of the butter.
I have a sandwich.
All coming through.
And you know what? The minis, I want to, out of all the sizes at this point, the minis are popular. I love the minis just because you can make up exactly how many you want. You're hungry, make like 4. If you're not that hungry, just make 1, and it's going to be fine.
Wait till you taste this.
Oh, that's delicious.
You almost feel guilty, right?
Well, you know what? I do feel a little guilty because you know what? I was happy eating that spread out of the jar, and I'm happy eating these on their own. So when you put the 2 of them together, it's almost like too much happy. Like I don't know what to do with myself. But
absolutely.
You know what it is? This really, I still go back to the first day I ever had a bite of these croissants, and what really gets me is not only the texture, the rich buttery flavor, but there is a thread of sweetness in here.
Yes.
Which really impressed me because I didn't really feel the need to put jams or jellies or anything on there. But the sweetness doesn't interrupt if you're going to do a lunch or something savory. It just adds to how delicious they are.
That is correct. And you know what? I always tell people, if you've never had this before, what I did the first time they sent it to me is I called the naked test. Try one by itself.
Yes.
Just bake it, open up the oven, let it sit for about just a minute. And when you bite into that crispy outside, and then you get the explosion of that natural unsalted butter, and the fact that this is made by true patisserie chefs in Paris, has been made the same way over and over again. And I just want to show you, if you look at the 3.
The size difference.
Here's our mini, which you can, and I love these for appetizers.
And I do need to say that the minis are becoming a bit limited if you want to pick up those minis. We have a finite, oh my gosh, we have fewer than 200 remaining in the minis.
Thank you. So that's our mini, and this is our classic, which is beautiful for your breakfast sandwiches, and of course the large, which you can do anything with. You can make sandwiches and cut those up for appetizers.
Absolutely.
But I want you to look at the consistency, how all 3 cooked exactly the same way. They puff up to the same height because they're made with the professional results of all the chefs that we use in our making.
And the brilliance of this is there's no proofing. These go directly from your freezer into the oven. And that's one of the reasons I think they bake so perfectly, because you can't mess it up. You could mess up in the proofing process. Like you could forget to proof it, or you could leave it in there for too long. Here, you just literally bake it. And this is not a thought process. You don't have to do anything the night before. You don't have to think about it. You get a phone call saying that the boss and his wife are coming over to have dinner. What am I going to do? I've got those croissants. The house will smell amazing by the time they come over. And something that I have always done, and you only did for the very first time, I think this past weekend, because I don't have a huge family, I don't need to light up my whole oven. I've always done them in the toaster oven. But you did it for the first time this weekend just to prove that they cook up beautifully, they bake beautifully there also.
Absolutely, because you have a smaller space, but again, 350 degrees, 18 minutes in the toaster oven, and I was amazed at how they puffed up, cooked perfectly to perfection. This one, I added just a little bit of raspberry, and I just want to open that up because I want to tempt everybody. Can you imagine that flaky, crusty pastry?
Especially around the holidays, having that pop of the red color coming through there. It would just look so beautiful on the table. This going into, I mean, I love this little setup here with the minis. Even going into football season and dude food season, you put some pulled pork or something delightful on there, and those make incredible little mini sandwiches for the guys.
Absolutely. How about cream cheese with salmon? Or you can do small chicken or shrimp salads.
Yes.
You can make mini entrees with doing like small pieces of egg and spinach, and I mean it's croissant,
limitless.
What the croissant does is it accentuates whatever you add to it.
Right. Well, you know what? Any of the options that you see on this table could have been done with a boring old dinner roll or a boring old hamburger bun or a boring old piece of bread or anything. When you use a croissant, you are not doing something boring and you're not doing something old. You're doing something beautiful and amazing, and it elevates whatever it is that you're making with it. It brings it up to the next notch. So I need to let you know where we are. The minis are last call, so my suggestion is if you're on the phone for the minis, you may lock this into auto delivery so you don't have to worry about you're already on a list before we get them back on the air again. So if you want the large, you have 200 remaining in the large. Just a few more than that now in the classic. And I think this is such a great way to go because you just get your choice between, here are the 36 in the large, which are like, you know, good hearty sandwich size. Here are are we calling them regular? What are we calling them? Classic. Because there's nothing regular about them. The classic size. This is a good sort of dinner roll size. This could be maybe a smaller sandwich size. But if you want, I think, the ultimate versatility, which they're just about to go out the door because you can always just make more of them, the 36 of the minis. Because for me, just baking up one or two of those, like it's just a little something special. There's something great about eating tiny food. I don't know what it is.
Well, as I told you, in our house, because we have a large family, I have the minis and the larges. Those are our preferences, but I keep both because sometimes you just want to make a little bit, or you're doing appetizers, or you just want a couple in the morning before you run out the door.
Absolutely.
And there's other times where you want to make it and use it. One thing I promise you put chicken salad in here. When you get that butter, I'm a chicken salad fanatic.
But in the croissant.
Rotisserie chicken salad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Look at that. Look at the flakes. Look at the layers. 64
you know what?
layers.
Last call if you want to pick these up. I highly recommend if you're having like a nice gathering, do the chicken salad. That was the first time I ever had that was at Mary Beth Rowe's house. She knows how to put on a shindig, let me tell you, and those sandwiches were divine. Do that with these. You do that.
Can I tempt you?
Yes, you are tempting me, but I have to hightail it over to another kitchen over on the other side. Thank you, Chef Tony.
I'll keep it for you, I promise.
Stay with us because more is happening in our food fest today. Something else completely brand new. Golden Wok is the brand, and if you think you know Asian food, you